Hello, everyone! Welcome back to this game. I think. Would it be considered welcome back if I'm technically playing a different prototype? But yeah, for the past few episodes, I have been checking out a prototype from a year before the release of Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. But that was just one of multiple prototypes that were dumped online. The prototype that we have been checking out is labeled Porky 2. This right here is an earlier build, simply titled Porky. How much earlier? Well, offhand, this build doesn't even have a title screen, so there's that. Also, let me reset it because that screen went away pretty quickly. Let me have a chance to admire it. And also the glitchy Sunsoft screen. Haunted Woods V. Porky's House. 1-up. The 1-up might actually confirm that there was intended to be a two-player mode, because various games from back in the day would label the first player as 1-up and the second player as 2-up. If you're wondering then what they would call extra lives, they would be called, well, extra lives. Well, let me go ahead and head into the CMS editor. Also, I cannot help but notice that there is no music playing right now. Alright, well, unlike in the web-footed prototype that we played, this prototype does not seem to have an option for two players. This one is dated March of 1994. Prototype 2, or Porky 2, was from May. So, it makes me wonder whether a two-player mode was ever even implemented outside of the minigames. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what this prototype is like. I'm not sure that I necessarily want to play through the entirety of this. The Haunted Woods, kinda spooky. Was it giving us a different name for each map? A map that doesn't exist? Wait, this game had skeletons? Are you kidding me? This game has bird droppings too? And a different death animation. Oh, and now the map is loaded correctly. We got an entirely different map! This is not the same as the final game at all. That is cool. Well, you can bet I'm gonna have some fun exploring around here. So, that two-headed bird from the opening screen is an actual enemy in this. They don't all drop poop on you. So, underground section, otherwise you're starting off up here, and the layout up here does appear to be similar to in the final game. That was fail. Oh, that stands out a bit. That is a falling branch right here. Heart up there, and that's where I'm eventually supposed to go. It occurs to me that the hearts are different too, as I will demonstrate as soon as I can get back to one. Also, the randomized weather randomizes every time the map reloads. That's something. So, at this point we drop down here. And we can backtrack to goodies off in this direction. Not very many. There's definitely a similarity with the map layout of the final game. But we don't have any of the swinging pin. Oh, gosh! That's an enemy that didn't make it into the final game. Alright, take care of that enemy. And Daffy is still scary. You know, looking back at those minigames, it's a shame that Daffy didn't have his spooky getup in them. Oh, I cannot get up to that heart up there. Oh, by the way, see, that's what the hearts look like in this older version of the game. And the slopes are slippery even if I'm not sliding down them. An entrance here? No, that's just an impression on the wall. Oh, can I get up to that? Okay, well that is weird. In this prototype, there is a visible entrance and you press up to go into it. In the later prototype that we played, the entrance is not visible and you press down to go into it. And then in later versions, they change it back to visible and pressing up. This room doesn't have any enemies in it yet. Is it snowing and raining at the same time? Kinda. I think the motion of the rain is the fog effect, but it's using the rain graphic. Okay, this level's starting to feel the same as the final version, although there is no leprechaun here throwing shoes at us. Come to think of it, this prototype doesn't have leprechauns at all. Instead, it has those skeletons. Alright, the flashing cupcakes are still in this prototype as well. And that creates that potion. I can't tell, does that actually look different? It also occurs to me that this is an older version of this song, because it's stuck in this portion of the loop. It doesn't have that bouncy portion that comes after this. Okay, that is not a very flattering face, first off. Different sprite from what's before. Also, a different collectible. And there's no secret entrance right there. Oh. Alright, so each level had different stages with their own names. That's interesting. And the tree is playing this song in Prototype 1. Otherwise, this map seems to be the same as all future versions. Oh, of course those birds are enemies in later versions. They just don't look like that. They use a different sprite. And don't poop on you. Alright, High Flyer is the final section. No, not the final section. The penultimate section? Coming after the climb. Anyway, offhand, this doesn't seem too different. Something about it seems different, but the layout is more or less the same. Although, we do have the return of those skeletons that were cut from all future versions. I can walk across here. Interesting. This section also doesn't have a bunch of swinging to get across. So once again, the map is different. Oh gosh, very different. It's actually kind of confusing. Porky makes a sound when you duck in this prototype. Okay, I'm kind of glad that the map doesn't work like this in the final version of the game, because finding these passages is a little bit confusing. What about if we travel to the right at the bottom? Yep, we can do that. And then, that doesn't actually lead anywhere. By the way, pits are not instant death in this version. Let's just stay up here this time. And then... Ooh, try to climb up, but don't slip down the spider web, because spider webs are totally known for being slippery. And getting off here is a little tricky. Ooh, gosh, good thing that doesn't have collision like that. I'll go ahead and drop down here, sure. Ooh, spikes. There's spikes down here. Oh, this is hazardous to my health. Oh, you can actually just straight up walk onto the spikes. That is a glitchy animation right there. But normally, you can't walk onto the spikes. Yeah, the layout of this map is definitely different. There's not even a marker for checkpoints, also. Okay, back up we go. Oh! An interesting section there. Multiple scares to get up. Interesting. I just backtracked for no reason, I feel like. It seems that you don't actually start with full health. This is just really interesting to explore. You know what it feels like? It feels like I'm playing an expansion pack with a new Porky sprite. Oh, there's another bush enemy down below. New enemies as well, plus the new layout. I knew that thing was down there, and yet I still died. And now I'm down to 0 lives. Don't know what happens if you get a game over. Whether you can restart at the same screen like in the final version. Well, we're about to find out because that juked me. Alright. It looks like we have limited continues. And we get to start on the same map at the checkpoint. Alright. So, like in the final version, game overs are not punishing. Though it does seem like I was going to have finite amount of continues. Something I will test later, because I don't want to run out of continues. Although I could just save state. Also, you cannot pause in this. There's no pause button. Although I can go into the CMS thing in order to reload the map. Which unfortunately places me right back at the start. Alright, I'm going to create a save state here. And see what happens if we can run out of continues. Game over. It doesn't do the Looney Tunes game over from the final version either. And then from here, it starts us back at Porky's house. What? Did I get sniped by that bush again? Yep, that's what happened. Alright. Through here, and now we're making progress. That doesn't seem to be leading anywhere. Oh, yes it is. A path forward? And in fact, there's the potion that makes us go up. So that's probably the end of the level over there. But for curiosity's sake, what's off in this direction? Darkness, I can tell you that. It is dark and rainy and hard to see. But I can tell there's a ladder here. Health to the right if I can reach it. I will happily accept it because I kind of need it. And another collectible, which occurs to me... Oh, so much for that health. Respawning enemies. But also it occurs to me that I died. And also I lost the previous collectible from the game over. Oh gosh dang it. Alright, let's go ahead and grab that potion now. And then another potion. We needed the chain potions. And are we at the end? Yep, we're at the end. Alright, finally the next stage. Back down. I had to press a button in order to proceed, by the way. Oh, I still have the inflation. Well, this is going to make this part kind of easier. It's about to not be easier. Otherwise, this seems to be the same as the final version. No! It's actually shorter. And a lot easier. And there's no boss. We're just going straight to Dry Gulch Town from here. Town Gate. Do we still have different costumes? Yep. Well, that was the easiest stage. What? I don't know what you were trying to say. I don't think that Dry Gulch is ready yet. Oh gosh, complete with the creepy music too. Open doors, but I can't go in them. No enemies, no trains. I can go in the jail. Don't go in the jail. That's not a room. Oh, I can hop up here. I don't necessarily need the health, but I guess I'll take it. Here's the end of the level. Oh, there's no passageway off the top of the roof, like in later versions. You actually have to go in here, where the bar patrons were in the prototype. Prototype 2, I should say. And then comes the rest of the level. Do I have any reason to keep going at this point? I mean... Well, first off, we no longer have any stage names. But also, as long as it's still going, why not? There's another strawberry up there, and I can't get it. Oh, by the way... I still have... I have camera control, it seems. So camera control was implemented into this version of the game. Not full control, though. Only up and down. And that is the end. Yeah, we've crashed. Let me load state and head into the CMS editor. How about we see what the current state of the minigames is? Well, this minigame is still in here. So that was implemented. I'm betting there's some rubber banding going on. So where's this going to kick me? Well, where is it going to kick me? It's not going to kick me anywhere. But I can go into the CMS editor. Okay, it's the start of a new recording session, and while setting up, I was idling on the screen here, and something interesting happens if you wait long enough. You see, Daffy is still traveling off to the right. And if you wait long enough, his coordinates overflow to the left. I'm not exactly sure how long that took, probably a couple of minutes, I'd say. And he is far off to the left, and eventually he'll be coming back on screen. Once again, it'll take a couple of minutes. Oh! And there I am as well. Oh gosh! Wait! I'm not catching up to him. That is unfortunate. Oh wait! I'm catching up to him! Ah, but I so lost. I almost did it. Okay, so it turns out that Daffy doesn't have his AI in the Western or the minecart minigames. Alright, fishy challenge. I have to press a button to... goodbye, Porky. I have to press a button in order to start the minigame, by the way. The controller doesn't seem to go away automatically. Oh, there you are. Alright, well, apparently you just simply don't have a sprite for your idle animation. And, like with the cowboy one, Daffy's AI is not implemented. Oh, I also told you also don't have a left animation. It is interesting, by the way, that the top of Porky's boat is actually a part of his sprite. Ooh, it's this one. Does Daffy have his AI here? Nope. Okie dokie, bye. Wait. Oh, are you kidding me? If Daffy outpaces me, I rubber band to him. But if I outpace Daffy, I still rubber band to him. Oh, well, we just made a little bit of progress there. So maybe there's some sort of checkpointing system that determines where we spawn. Still, though, I am not winning like this. Nope, especially not if we're being sent backwards. Lame. Okay, I just loaded up the Bobby Challenge. And, this is even less functional than in the web-footed prototype. I can move. Kinda. Gravity clearly has not been implemented. I can move to the right easily just by holding to the right. To the left, I have to keep tapping to the left in order to go to the left. So, definitely not working. Alright, lastly, Porky's Revenge. Interesting. So first things first, Porky doesn't seem to have a left-facing sprite. More importantly, Daffy's got a different animation for when he's hit in this older prototype. Got a bump on his noggin. Okay, down near the bottom of the screen, it says NB Start Toggles Blimp Mode. So, here's the thing though. Pressing start doesn't seem to be doing anything. I'm trying it, like, doing various things, but it's not actually turning me into a blimp. It's not inflating Porky. So I was looking at the first part of that, NB, and what does NB mean? North button? But no matter what combination of buttons I tried, I couldn't get it to toggle. So then it occurred to me, maybe NB is some sort of programming lingo. And I looked it up and it kind of is, because that gave me the information I was looking for. So NB stands for Nota Bene? Nota Bene? Nota Bene? I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but it is Latin for note well. Basically meaning, this is important, make note. So, that's what that is, but it doesn't answer what the situation is with pressing start to toggle blimp mode. But then it occurs to me, the start button is the pause button. However, the pause button is not functional. So, what I'm thinking is that in this prototype, pressing start was actually going to toggle blimp mode instead of pausing the game. Perhaps as a debug button. Well, however, for whatever reason, both functions are disabled in this prototype. Although, that makes me wonder, let me head to the end of this stage and see if I can trigger anything upon actually collecting the inflatable collectible. Oh. And, I can get my throwable item here. Kind of think of it, I'm not sure... Did we find the throwable item anywhere in this level before? Huh. So the throwable item is in this prototype. And it's temporary. By the way, you remember that spot where I could travel through a tree down to the left and I found myself backtracking? Well, it occurs to me that's intended to be a shortcut. A shortcut forward that I accidentally pressed down while trying to climb up, and therefore I couldn't actually take the shortcut. But that's what it's intended to be. Anyway, finally made my way over to this, and... No, it doesn't seem to toggle the, Oh! What? Hold on. This is that secret room. Alright. This is that one secret room that was hidden at the top of the map in the later versions of this game. Huh. So this exists in this version as well, just in a different location. And with a lot more spikes as well. Neat. Okay, I think that just about covers everything here in this Porky 1 prototype. But there is one more thing of interest to look at. So, right now, we're in level 0, basically level 1, which is the Haunted Woods. Let me set this to level 1, and let's warp to the previous room, the one where we were climbing the tree. Dry Gulch Town. So... Oh, and we even got our Dry Gulch costume out of that. So this option right here, the level option, changes our outfit as well as the level name. I'm pretty sure this option was not here in the web-footed prototype. Rather, everything was determined by the room number. Now, the cowboy outfit is the only alternate outfit in this prototype. However, all 6 level entrances do exist in this prototype, and that even includes level 6, which is interesting because that one was not in the web-footed prototype. And the really interesting thing is that all 6 level entrances have a unique name. We've already seen the first 2, and then Atlantis' entrance is called Welcome. The Mine's entrance is called Beware. The Alps entrance is called Beware of the Yeti. And the castle's entrance is called Chaos Centrale? Most of the entrances are functional to some extent, with the exception of the mines. There is no exit. And while the Dry Gulch entrance works as intended, all the other level entrances lead to the start of the Haunted Woods, which is actually kind of interesting to see a placeholder exit like that. You know, it's interesting in hindsight that jumping down here is actually, below the Daffy grave. Gives a bit more significance to it. Anyway, how about we go ahead and end this here? Now, we're not done with the prototypes yet. There are 3 more to go. And they are... sub-games, intros, and R&D. The first two are self-explanatory, but that last one sounds interesting. And we'll be checking out all three of them next time. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Oink!